let's go into opportunities a little bit more. Now, I'll put together some examples of that we are working with customers on, and some around, things like I've seen some use case around fundraising agents. If you want to, so for example, a question you want to ask is create a personalized end of financial year appeal for donors who are who gave more than $500 last year, but haven't donated in the last 6 months. So that's a kind of a scenario that you can explore using a fundraising agent, work on different campaigns. Volunteer agent could be, if you're doing volunteer services, figure out who's available, who things like that, but you need to have the data available for that. Caseworker. So providing support for caseworkers. So this is internal again, giving them support. Okay, can we find out information around what documents they need? Grant response, so writing grants, which is an interesting one as well, which is, even within our organization, we write a lot of proposals. We actually respond to a lot of RFPs and RFQs, and we have a grant writing agent that can grab all the information from all the things we've done, RFP writing agent that can actually develop that 50% of the draft, then or 70% of the draft, then humans we can review, we can add content to it. So important thing is, again, iterating. When you're starting off, make sure it's internal first. Knowledge retrieval and search, getting information to your staff is probably a really good place to start. Make sure human in the loop, can be fact-checked, and support internal staff. Okay. We're going to go through a couple of scenarios. So this is using a technology that you already have. Obviously, there's some additional licensing associated with this, but we can talk about that. But some of these licenses are like $300 a month from a consumption bucket, right? So that's just Copilot Studio license. So a simple agent could be, you could publish into Teams that connects to a SharePoint library or a knowledge source. Now, we've deployed a number of these scenarios, and this is a very simple agent that you can build very specific to a very specific function. Could be supporting a certain type of area. You can upload all your documents or point it to a knowledge base that you already have, or knowledge repository. The other one we are working with the customer on is when they have a portal that has an old school chatbot, which is basically, the way I say old school is, it does not connect to generative AI. It's a question and answer, but then it sends a question to this organization, and it gets into the CRM, and somebody has to sit there and figure out where it needs to go. So which category and how to respond to that. So we're building that based on using the existing data sources. If there's a customer that you already know about, classifying different types of requests that are coming in. So that's another one you can use. The next one is what's called omni-channel, which is that you got a lot of these channels actually, engaging with you. So maybe you may not have a chatbot, or that's okay. You may have an email. Obviously, you have emails, forms being emailed or sent via mail. You have phone calls, in person. Coming into your offices, or this customer had an app. Imagine all that data coming to a router or such, which is AI driven. It can enter that information into the CRM effectively, and then also classify and route to the right business unit, right, who can help them. And even then, the next level is even create the draft responses to that. Another example is. I think this is another thing that you can have a look at, and also for your staff, is that provide an assistant for your staff connecting to your knowledge sources, your CRM, or any knowledge sources you have, and they could have common questions that they get. You can categorize that and provide that information. Okay. So I'm going to talk a little. Okay, one last thing is I touched on the automated email response. So, for example, if you have Dynamics 365, and that's, I think, the customer service module, which I'm not really 100% sure, but I can confirm that. But it has the customer service agents out of the box. So you can enable those agents. And what it can do is it can, when an inquiry comes in, automatically draft the email based on the customer records, past queries that happen in. And it also has capability to create those knowledge-based articles and human review, but it's got a human review process already built in. But if you don't have dynamics, if you don't want to spend on extra licensing, there are other ways to build your own capability to review that, or use, Copilot chat out of band to do that. So which means you still need to cut and paste, but that is one of the solutions that you can deploy. That's quite beneficial. I'm going to talk a little bit more about a use case, NFP use case. This is kind of type of a journey that they've started. Now, the journey of your journey could be different, but one of the challenges with Flourish had was in 2024 when they came to us is they had data everywhere. They had, and a lot of that information around their programs they do, they had to get that information all manually put through spreadsheets and documentation. So what we did was we had a number of workshops with them, and as part of that workshop, we used that human-centered approach. We got all the stakeholders, people on the front line, people who are working on this, involved in that number of sessions to understand their requirements, what are the things they're going through, and we built a reporting analytics platform. Now, for that one, we actually identified different personas. So from a frontline worker to the senior management, how they view the data. It's not just one dashboard for everything. Now, why are we talking about this in AI? This is the foundation for them to build AI agents and on top of it. So the data piece, there's obviously, this could be another topic, but this data piece is really important. And now they have data that they can trust on, clean, up-to-date, concise, what they call golden records. Their reporting is self-service, near real time. They get, instead of weeks, within a day, they get the up-to-date information, but they have an ecosystem to build agents and other things for them as well. So that's a key aspect as well. Okay, keep going. We got a couple more slides to go, and then we'll go into questions. So next steps. So now I think we covered a lot of these things now, and around policies, an approach could be to build and deploy your own chat. There's risks associated with that. I went through a number of use cases. Where to next? We do have a session called free AI accelerator session. So this is mainly aimed at your senior executive leadership. So we do 1.5 hour session. We talk about the foundational aspects of it. We showcase some capabilities, and we look at how we can accelerate your journey, understand where you are, and governance piece. That's one. That's an executive leadership one. It's a free session where we do. As part of this webinar, we are offering Ask Me Anything session. It's a half-day session where you get myself and members from Dan's team and other security professionals to talk about getting some practical advice, whether it's on policies, whether it's on AI strategy, half day with us. And we can, for the people who are participating in that webinar, we can offer that to you as well.